Senator Capito, thanks for those closing thoughts and for helping to help us put together. I think it's been a terrific hearing. It's and very informative. Thank you. Your staff, our staff's on the majority side as well. Mr. Secretary, one of the things I like to do when we have an important issue like today, if we have a panel where you have different points of view, as Senator Capito said, sometimes I'll just kick it back to the panel, just ask them to, 3 or 4 or 5 people are on a panel, I'll ask them to see, tell us where's the consensus, where's the agreement. I could kick this back to you. This is pretty easy because you're the panel. And you tried in the conversation for the last couple of hours to help us a bit with consensus and communications and all. Would you have like to take just a couple of minutes just to kind of sum up and come back, maybe reiterate something,
sure,
or maybe touch on something that you haven't touched, maybe answer a question that hasn't been asked? So.
Well, I will say I think I missed an opportunity with regard to Senator Capito's question about one federal decision to note that there's already been one time hack in the law, which was the 60-day requirement to share information on the categorical exclusions, and we've met that. So I did not mean to be abstract in talking about our desire to meet some of those other goals, but we've met our requirements so far and are committed to continue to do that. So I appreciate the chance to revise and extend there. I'll be very concise, noting I'm a panel of one. And just express again, kind of as I began, my appreciation and gratitude for the work of this committee. I really believe that the improvements we're going to make, the things we're going to fix, and the things we're going to build across the different areas of transportation infrastructure, they're going to help goods get to where they need to go affordably and swiftly. They're going to help people get to where they need to be. They're going to create so many jobs in this country. And I think we're all going to be proud of them. And at a time when all of us worked through this last year where there were many commentators scoffing at the idea you could have a bipartisan anything law. The fact that legislation of this scope and scale and ambition was passed by this Congress, largely built in this committee and signed by this president is an extraordinary thing, and our department takes very seriously our responsibility and our opportunity to make the most of this and to get it right, because I doubt we'll get an opportunity this compelling again. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think I speak not just for Senator Capito, but for all of our colleagues on this committee. It's really been a privilege for us at this point in time in our nation's history to have a chance coming out of the worst pandemic in 100 years, one of the worst recessions since the Great Depression, to have the opportunity to work on a set of issues that really will help get this economy moving, make us more productive, and enable us to help a whole lot of families who need some hope and need some help. When I love to go to schools, I know you've been to a ton of schools, we all have, and have assemblies with kids and so forth. They ask us what we do, and not uncommon especially when I'm in elementary schools with an assembly of kids, and they'll say, "What do you do?" And I'll say, "I'm a United States Senator." They say, "Well, what do you do?" And I said, "We help make the rules for the country." "What do you do? What else do you do?" And one of the things we really try to help people. And as a native of West Virginia and someone who's lived most of his life in Delaware, one of the best ways that you can help somebody is make sure they have a job. And the 8 years I was privileged to be the governor of Delaware. We used to have presidents of Delaware, but yeah, I was privileged to be the governor of Delaware. The more jobs were created in those 8 years than any 8-year period in the history of the state of Delaware. I didn't create one of them. I helped create a nurturing environment for job creation, job preservation. There's a lot of ways to do that. We've talked about some of them, but a really important one here today is transportation, the ability for people to get where they need to go, goods to get where they need to go in a timely way, and to enable us to foster even more job creation. I think, let me just take a look at my notes here. I have some just a couple of questions and a couple of points I need to make sure this is on the record. But aside, let me just say we have a lot of witnesses who come before us, including a lot of folks from this administration, earlier administration. I've always described you. People say, "What's he like?" I say, "He's smart. He's smart." And I'll say the other thing, he's practical and plain spoken. But actually, he's has a great grasp on issues and is able to really walk and chew gum at the same time and do it better than most anybody I've had before our committee from any administration. So we thank you for all that. I just want to say thank you for your willingness to be responsive and to really say to your team, members of your team, your expectations, and you set a good example with that regard. We need a couple of nominations, as you know, from the administration. One of them is the head of highway administration. It's hugely important, as you know. There's a couple of others as well, and we need that. We need on our pardon. Go ahead. Air. Yeah, the Office of Air. That's
Yes.
yeah. We need to pass not a continuing resolution. We need to pass an omnibus and fund this government to the end of this fiscal year, to the end of September. Senator Capito is a senior member of the Appropriations Committee. She's working hard on that, along with her other colleagues. It would be a shame if we spent all these years year after year having an infrastructure week. Well, and then another infrastructure week the next year, and well, as I said earlier, this is infrastructure decade, and we want to make sure that we get a lot of stuff done. And part of that is on us, part of that is on you, and communicating, collaborating will, I think, set a good example for this country and fulfill the needs that we've been expressed as to us, and the hopes that have been expressed. That's that last thing, a little bit of housekeeping, if I could, before we adjourn. Senators will be allowed to submit written questions for the record through the close of business on Wednesday, Wednesday, March 16th. We'll compile those questions. We'll send them to you, Mr. Secretary, and your team. We ask you to reply to them by Wednesday, April the 6th. And a lot of us spent a couple of hours together last night as president of our country. Did what presidents have done for many years, and is deliver the State of the Union message. He spent the first almost hour talking about what's going on in the country of Ukraine, and laid out what we're trying to do, in the coalition that he's helped to assemble. We have a couple of Ukrainian churches in my state, and I had the opportunity to worship there on Sunday at both of them in a show of solidarity. I think I speak for every member of this panel, everybody in the Senate. We could not allow to stand what Putin is doing in Russia. And I don't say this lightly, but if he's allowed to get away with this with respect to Ukraine, I spent some time flying missions in and out of the South China Sea, including Taiwan. And if he gets away with this with respect to the Ukraine, somebody else is going to come along looking to do something similar to this in Taiwan. And this is doubly important. And I would just close with that. And I would say to the people of Ukraine, we admire you, respect you, value your leadership of your president, and our prayers are very much with you today and every day. And more than just prayers, a lot of hope and help. With that, anything else?